Chairman Whitehouse, Ranking Member Grassley, and members of the Senate Budget Committee, thank you for inviting me here today. My name is Allie Phillips, and I live in Clarksville, Tennessee. My husband, Brian, works for a forklift company, and I run a small daycare out of our home. Together, we are raising Allie, my 6-year-old daughter. We are not a wealthy family. We work hard to pay our bills on time each month. I spent the first several years of Adelie's life as a single mom, working 3 jobs while also finishing up my bachelor's degree. Brian, Adelie, and I were so excited to learn that I was pregnant in the fall of 2022, and even more thrilled to find out that we were having a little girl, Miley Rose. Everything was going perfectly until the day of my routine anatomy scan. At 19 weeks, when my doctor told us that they had found multiple concerning fetal issues. Several days later, as I waited to meet with the fetal specialist, I had no way of knowing that the next 10 minutes would change my life forever. The fetal specialist came in to go over the results, and that list was extensive. Miley's kidneys, bladder, and stomach were not functioning. Only 2 of the 4 chambers in her heart were not working. There was no amniotic fluid protecting her, and she had a rare brain condition. Her growth was a month behind, and she had no lung development. We were told that Miley was not compatible with life. Completely broken, I asked, what do we do now? The doctor suggested I had 2 options, that I could terminate the pregnancy, but due to Tennessee's ban on abortion, I would have to travel out of state for that health care. My second option would be to continue my pregnancy, but risk a miscarriage, a stillbirth, or giving birth for her to be put right into hospice care. And then the doctor warned that the longer I stayed pregnant, the worse Miley's condition would get and the more at risk my health would become. Knowing I had a daughter and a family to live for, we made the difficult decision to seek an abortion. So instead of grieving this devastating news, my mother and I began researching and calling clinics in states that allowed abortions after 20 weeks. Many did not have open appointments for weeks, and the longer I waited, the more extensive and expensive the procedure became. Ultimately, I found a clinic in New York City that could get me in the following week. Then, I had to book flights, find a hotel, arrange ground transportation, and childcare for Adelie. We had to quickly figure out how to afford all of it. We didn't have thousands of dollars sitting in our bank account. I had to start a GoFundMe effort online to help cover the unexpected medical and travel costs. Without the help of strangers on the internet, I would not have had the freedom to leave Tennessee or to make my own medical decisions, rights that my state denied me. Days later, I arrived at a New York City clinic alone. Due to security concerns, only patients are allowed in. I was there for several hours when a new ultrasound showed that Miley's heart was no longer beating. Sorry.
Take your time.
Distraught, I called Brian, my husband, to tell him over the phone that our much-wanted daughter was already gone and that the abortion scheduled for the following day would be done immediately. I went into surgery alone, and I sat in recovery alone. I grieved her loss alone in a city I've never been in, far away from the comfort of my home, my family, and my friends. No one should be treated this way, not in Tennessee and not in the other 13 states that now criminalize abortion, the standard of care that I needed in my situation. 2 days later, I flew back home to Tennessee. I had to go back to my life like nothing ever happened. I've never felt as small and inconsequential or unsupported as I did then. I was so depressed that I couldn't go to work for another week after we got back, and altogether, Brian and I lost 3 weeks of pay, which is rough for a family that lives paycheck to paycheck. My parents had to help us pay our bills the following month so we didn't lose our home. We want to have another child, but we're terrified because Tennessee still bans abortion and criminalizes doctors for providing essential health care for pregnant patients. Thank you for letting me honor Miley's memory by sharing our story today. Millions of people live under these laws just like Tennessee's, and I know that I was lucky to get the care I needed, but no one should have to rely on luck to get essential health care. We must have a federal right to access the health care we need, no matter where we live or how much we earn. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Phillips.